everyone, welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. On Wisdom Wednesdays, I share tips on baking, and today I am in the Wheat Marketing Center with Dr. Jane. So, I just wanted to continue our discussion from last week where we talked about the effect of Upscale 200. I've realized that Upscale 200 is one of those amazing ingredients that actually increase the pore size of your straight dough ciabatta, okay? And some of you may ask, why straight dough ciabatta, right? Straight dough ciabatta is one of the most difficult bread to make because of the decrease in the fermentation time. So in order to get a big pore size, you have to use longer fermentation or Upscale 200, okay? So your next question to me would be, Len, how would you know that it increases the pore size? Okay, so what we have here today is the C-cell and Dr. Jane from the Wheat Marketing Center to show us how C-cell quantifies the porosity of the straight dough ciabatta, okay? So, Dr. Jane, you just put in a bread to analyze?
Yes,
right?
yes I did.
Okay, and tell us, what does a C-cell do?
So basically, the C-cell is a special camera with a special lighting system. And you load your product into it.
Okay.
Close the drawer. And then you click a button, and the instrument will apply the different lighting, use its camera, and basically start to run algorithms to calculate the porosity and other parameters of that slice that it's imaging.
Nice. Can you tell me what's on the left-hand side, all the different images that we see?
Yeah, so on the left-hand side are a variety of different ways of looking at that slice of bread. And so depending on how you choose to analyze the data, you can look at, for example, you can look at elongation, you can look at cell volume, you can look at cell diameter, you can map that out physically on this slice of bread. You can look at the geometry of it, how symmetrical or not it is. You can look at color. And so these are all just ways of mapping all those different parameters in that physical space.
Okay, so am I right to say that it is more accurate than the human eye?
Yes.
Okay, so we can actually look at the difference between, say, the control dough and what we used here with the Bartek ingredient, which is Upscale 200.
Yeah, absolutely. Because whereas visually we can look at something and we can maybe see a difference, we have no way to quantify it. And so what the C-cell will do is it'll actually put hard numbers to that data and give you a means of assessing how different those two slices or two lobes are.
Okay, so do we have data to share with the audience on what you saw with the C-cell?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, great.
And so, as you can see here on the slide, you can definitely tell just with the naked eye there's a difference in the cell structure and the porosity of the control versus the ciabatta with the Upscale 200.
Which is on the right.
Which is on the right, exactly. And the first thing you notice is that there is increased porosity. And so, previously we talked about the Mix-a-Lab and how we observed a reduction in mix time. That still translates to this straight dough ciabatta. And if you'll look at the labels there, you'll see that the Upscale 200 also boosted the absorption by about 3 percentage points, which was also something that we could measure with the Mix-a-Lab. What was really impressive is that there was a change in the dough handling properties. And so we've discussed before how artisan ciabatta is really a very fragile dough. It's very hard to convert to an automated process. With the Upscale 200, there's a strengthening effect on the dough that makes it more machinable. It's easier to put on an automated line with reduced mix time, with reduced fermentation time. You can do this in a straight dough system. It worked really, really well, and you can still see that there's an improvement in porosity as well.
Right. So basically, the cell diameter increased by 66%,
Right.
and the cell volume increased by 80%. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
Okay.
So between the control and then the Upscale 200,
Right.
you saw vast improvements in cell diameter and cell volume.
Okay, so yeah, I can't see the difference, and I'm glad that you use the C cell to really show, to be able to quantify this. And what does that do? I mean, for the ingredient label, for the product itself, does it make it softer? What do you think?
So yeah, we did observe an increase in softness of the product with the addition of Upscale 200. It is something that is friendlier for a clean label type product. There's nothing in there that's typically categorized as unfriendly to a clean label.
Okay. Okay. All right. And how about the flavor in the sourness? I know it adds a little bit of sourness. Is it a lot, or
Yeah,
is it noticeable, or?
It was actually really funny because with the straight dough, obviously you take out the long fermentation time, which is where you generate a lot of that flavor. And it was interesting because the Upscale 200, when you tasted those straight dough ciabattas, they actually did have that sourness. They had that flavor that you would typically see imparted by a long fermentation time. So there is a flavor benefit there as well.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dr. Jane.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on to today's Wisdom Wednesday. You've seen how the C cell work, and what my eye can't see as much of a difference, the C cell was able to quantify. If you want to learn a little bit more about the C cell, please go to their page and on Bakerpedia, the sponsored page on Bakerpedia, and learn more on how to use this instrument there. And of course, if you want to learn more about Upscale 200, go ahead and contact Bartek. They are on our sponsor page as well. So thank you for coming on to Wisdom Wednesday.